Anyway, you don't have to go in there now because the door's closed.
I don't know when.
Are we gonna have movies tonight?
I'm thinking 62%.
It's gonna be right there with the that is.
I can't either. Just get different. You could have a car. Anyway, can't speak. I didn't have gloves. We're having movie. By that time I was ready to think.
Hey.
No, yeah. Replace the hood on it. I'll bring up my website.
Because, listen.
And it started to burn. So I'd rather wear this.
Okay, get worried. Okay.
Remember when we fixed it?
Okay.
Right?
I've got the number of socks. That's another gallon. Hello, Rita. How are you? Hello, Rita. How are you? You all right?
Hey, Rick.
How are you doing? How are you?
Shalina.
Doing good.
Where's the recorder?
It's right there. And
Oh, okay.
just hit the red button
Just this one? It's okay?
and make sure it's.
On the bottom? Okay.
Okay.
That's the one we had that day when we decided to revise from the word. Same thing, right?
Motion, and then it's got the permitting that papers with it,
Permit.
where they fill out what they post and they have their sales. It's right there on the back of that paper.
Well, like I said, I mean, we haven't got switched yet, but like I said, if it is on the pay the light bill, it's just. That's why I've got this down here. I want to address that. I'm gonna finally listen to what you said. Yeah, I'm gonna listen to what you
Commissioner, how many months I have to ride you on that?
said. You've been riding me for about 4 months. I'll explain. Okay, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Y'all ready?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, let me put my eyes on it. I ain't ready. Dollar store glass. All right, it's 6 o'clock. Call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Mayor Tony Moore.
Him be here.
Mayor Pro Tem John Graham. Here. Council members Lee Ferris. Here. Mike Opshawn. Pam Drost. Here. And Darlene Jordan.
Has anybody heard anything from him?
I have not heard from her. That's not like her not to call.
Just absent, whatever. It's not that big of a thing. Somebody else will have to deal with it in a couple months. Should I act upon the minutes from the last meeting? I don't know if y'all had a chance to look at it yet. Let me say something to the effect that I haven't said anything about what the city has. There you go, right there. It's not like I was trying to keep it secret.
Thank you.
I'm like, to accept these minutes.
It's been seconded and, whoa, boy, y'all trying to get out of here, huh? Motion is seconded, we accept the minutes. Question, all in favor?
Thank you so much.
Angela,
Yes, sir.
unanimous one.
Good.
We're on the road. All right, what is the next one? Check written register. And for the check written register, where did Doug go?
Right here.
Doug is here, or you can wait till we get to that part of the agenda where, okay, yeah, that's right after the form. Anyway, and he's gonna explain his charges, his methods, what he charges us for and how he charges. And then young Alpshon, there he is. He's going to make a proposal, quote unquote, that he can do it for a better job, cheaper, whatever. It'll be up to y'all to decide. I don't have a dog in this fight. But,
It's a dog in the hunt. It's a felony to have a dog in the fight.
I grew up to fight dogs. That's big. See, I can say they come black.
How'd that work for him?
Hey, he's a multi-million-dollar man again, right?
That's not all.
Handle a little publicity. Hazel. Hazel.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Number 4, number 29, computer expense, DC warehouse one for 148. And the other one is for 297.
Yes.
What, where are these expenses?
Which one was that, Lee?
Number 4 and 29.
Okay. The one for $148.50.
That's monthly, correct?
Yes, this was for monthly, for August. And it was, it says for labor for Ken Squires, backup services for August 2012. And that is 3 different times. You know, it's gonna be on 3 different computers. And then it says shadow drive issues, cleanup, backup drive, restart services, update backups, chief service, computer not accessible, notify that chief backups down, not accessible, chief still not accessible, backups offline, chief backups offline, chief
That's,
shadow stopped.
and that was just for number 4, is it correct? Or is
Yeah,
it-
was that the 148?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the one for $297 is labor for Ken Squires, backup services for September 2012, labor on chief, judge, and city. And it's a kind of basically the, it's saying chief backup, stop, shadow services disabled, changed to auto and restarted services, started new full backup, check replication, image manager, errors on verify chief increments or incrementals, 12 to 1, run manual verify on chief, USB chain.
Is all of that part of the backup,
Well, that's what,
check?
Daylight savings time got you, huh?
let's ask Doug, because he's here and he could, Doug,
Hello.
can you?
We're actually on time.
Why don't you?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on just a second.
Okay.
Let's do Chick Reed Rush first, and then we'll bring him in.
Okay.
Yeah, they're on the agenda. He's on the agenda.
I know, but
Yeah, we do
we'll
that
bring him
next
in
time.
now.
Right, right.
Let's get through this first.
Right.
Okay. A lot of that I don't understand what it means, I'm just reading.
Yeah, that's why we want to clarify when we get to.
That's surprising.
his point.
Yes.
Um, I don't know if I have any question on the other thing. It is $1,545 for computers.
Do you have any idea what we've spent year to date on computer expense?
No, I don't. I'd have to, you know, I could look that up.
$8,900 in the last 2 months.
I have a question when you're all through.
Well, no, let's get through this first.
Which one you on?
No, you got a question about this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
On 33,
Mm-hmm.
okay, why is our phone bill $600? The reason I'm asking that is, you ever notice how like for instance, my daughter, she bought a phone and it's a certain amount, and on that phone, she is able to attach 4 or 5 other people in her family with that phone system. Why are we paying $600? Why can't we have one of those little family plans with the cell phones we have here?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know because if we're a business, I don't know if they allow that, but we can
This is-
check.
This is
into
the
it.
question. Are they charging us individually for each phone setup? Like if Officer so-and-so has a phone, the city hall has a phone, the other officer has a phone, the other officer has a phone, the fire department has a phone. Are we paying for individual plans? Why can't we consolidate
Hey,
these?
Mike, if I'm not mistaken, some of this is air cards for the cars, am I correct on this?
There's
There are-
4 or 5.
Yeah, there are air cards involved in this.
Yeah, and that's part of, you know,
And
we've
then
got,
the
we've
cell
got, what,
phones.
4 vehicles? Correct? Truck, 2 Chargers and a Camaro, and then each officer's got a cell phone, am I correct with that? So you're talking 4 vehicles,
The mayor has a cell phone. Don't leave me out.
So, I mean, that's probably pretty understandable when you look at air cards and, what, 4, 5,
And
6
it
cell
is a
phones?
government account, and we have gone back, we have an agent that we deal directly with, and we have dissected it.
We've had.
On our text messaging, do y'all know if that's unlimited, or we have up to a certain number of text messages and then we pay for whatever's extra?
I'd have to look.
Yeah, we need to check.
I'd have to look,
John,
double check.
checking that from the website.
We need to go down to the dollar store.
I got you on the dot. I got a net 10 phone. But actually, honestly, I am fixing to take my phone off of that plan because whomever takes it, I'm sure they're not gonna be wanting to pay for a phone from me, so my phone will come off that bill. I've already got the paperwork on my desk.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay. Anybody else?
I make a motion.
I have
I'm sorry.
I have a question, please. The grant income deposit,
What's the number?
it's number 38.
That's that money that they owed us. That's when we had to pay additional funds, and I tell you we'd get it back. That's what it is.
Okay.
So that would be a
So
deposit.
that is the community center, nothing to do with the new homes.
No, nothing to do with the homes.
Okay.
And then we got $800 in for franchise fee. That was
Allied Way.
Allied Waste, the one we paid $13 a month, right?
Wow,
Well, we just so wrong.
that is a deal there.
And getting $800 back and only paying. What made y'all want to do something?
That was the best thing we ever did.
If you ask my neighbor, I thought it was
And on number 40, that was my mistake. I should have dated that for November the 1st. So that should not have been showing on this check register. I just did not date it correctly, and that was to CenturyLink.
I don't have any other questions. I make a motion to accept the check register.
I'll second that.
It's been motion second that we accept check written register. Any other question, all in favor? 3-1. All right, what's next? Huh? Form. Selena, please. First of all, I'd like to say that I think that open forum, I think it was a good deal. I think it went well. I stayed the heck away from it. I didn't want to get anywhere close to it. They showed it on the news, and I got a piece of that clip. But I think it was a good thing. I think it cleared up a lot of people's perspective. I like what you said, Steve, that some people might not have been able to be there. It was their decision.
On Saturday at the Community Center in College City, 4 candidates showed up for an informal talk about the issues facing the small town. Panel consisted of candidates for city council as well as Steve Gulletson, who's running for mayor.
What we had today was we had an impartial moderator, and we invited all the candidates to attend. Unfortunately, some candidates were unable to appear, but we had a very good group.
The candidates that did participate belong to a group called People for a United Coffee City. Most of those that did not show are members of the concerned citizens of Coffee City. The tone at Saturday's event was pretty tame, a far cry from this city council meeting just a few months ago.
Coffee City has had a very checkered past, and we want to get Coffee City going down the middle of the road and not veering off one direction or another that causes issues.
Among the topics discussed Saturday, property tax. None of the candidates present wanted it. But because the liquor store revenue may not last forever, they're hoping for some new businesses to come in. KETK also spoke with Ray Wakeman, the candidate running against Gulletson. He tells KETK we were not contacted for any input about this meeting. He says the concerned citizens did attend a Meet the Candidates event back in September. In the meantime, Wakeman has been going door to door for support in Coffee City. Casey Claiborne, KETK News.
Well, very informative, very informative. Ray, but I could just say, I believe you knew about that meeting. Think I'd put it out in several meetings?
That's not the
I think the
point.
newspaper man had already talked to you about it, but,
That wasn't the point.
well, the point was that you sat up there and lied to everybody, but
Mayor,
this is
I
not
find
going
this
away from
totally
it.
out of order that you're having this discussion.
I don't care what you find out on it.
Well, I do. I think it's inappropriate for you to be
Well,
doing
I don't
this
care what you
here.
think. You ain't figured it out yet.
Well, I've known that for some time. I'm just stating my opinion. If you
Good.
don't mind, I do have.
Good, you got an opinion. It's just like, you know what, everybody got one. Use yours, wash it, do whatever you need to do with it. So, anyway, let's move on. Any objections?
Yeah.
Doug and Mike Lab showing computer work experience. Who y'all want to hear from first?
Let me just ask, you know, like you and everybody else was concerned about the charges for the computer work and everything. So we've got somebody here tonight that's going to offer maybe a solution or something. And so whoever wants to go first, but this is an answer to your savings on that.
Can you have Doug go first? He can answer some of our questions about.
Sure. Doug, you ready?
No,
Come on around.
sure.
Right. Ed,
Pretty much.
could you pull up last month's check registration real quick? Could you
Last
possibly?
month?
Yeah, there were some questions on there that we had the last time.
Okay.
Here it is. I got it.
You got it?
Oh, he's
We
got
got-
it? Oh, okay, well, great.
Lee, this is a copy of those from last month, remember? Yeah.
Okay, I think what they were wanting to know was that, I believe the 140 something, whatever it was, is that just our regular monthly routine stuff?
Actually, it should be less than that, but depends on what happens during the month. What,
Okay,
What the environment
like
is.
148.50?
it could be less than that, or it could be more than that. Depends on what happens throughout the month.
Are you talking about as far as like viruses and things that the computers come in contact with during the month? that have to be taken
No,
off?
I mean, what you guys are asking me about, and in this particular scenario, is about the backup routines that occur on all the computers, on the three main computers here. This network does not have a domain system. You have a peer-to-peer network. Each computer has master files on it that are proprietary to that particular computer, and other people have access. For most network solutions, you have a server-based situation where you have a domain, everybody logs onto that domain, and everything is stored on that one main computer. Well, in the last 10 years that I've been servicing you guys, the city's never opted for that because it's about a $2,000 venture just to have a server and then all of the network things that would be involved to go on with that. So in this situation, you've got Judge Tarrant, who has her own master files that everyone needs access to. You have Angela's computer that has her own master files that other people need access to. And then Shalina accesses it, the chief accesses it, not only Angela's, but also Judge Tarrant's computer. So you don't have a single cheaper source of backup solution available. If everything was on one master computer, it would be a lot cheaper, but you don't.
Well, what if, well, I mean, we spent $865 in the last 2 months on computer. I'm not saying that we didn't need it.
Right.
If you're saying if we get a server, we're looking at $2,000.
Yeah, approximately.
What kind of monthly fee are we looking, base fee are we looking at if we step up and spend $2,000 on a server and stuff?
That would cut it by 2/3.
It cut which part by 2/3? The
The 150.
Because you don't have.
Generally, it's about $150 a month. On the last bill, it was half hour or less for each of the three computers for us to check out.
So basically, what you're saying is it takes longer to do things to each individual computer versus one main system.
Correct. And so, and the main problem is Judge Terrence and Angel's computers essentially act as servers, even though we're on a peer-to-peer
But
network.
they're just all individual.
Because
Okay.
they're all individual, but everybody still needs access to those. Plus, the worst-case scenario is not only do we have to have backups of Judge Terrence and Angela's stuff, we have to have backups that are not just backups. We have to have images of those servers, so we have usernames, passwords, all the credentials, everything stored as an image, not just, if you had a Mozy account, like you use for your personal computers, you want to back up your pictures and your Quicken and things like that, you would back those up to Mozy or any of those other online backup services. Well, that just backs up your data files. We don't back up data files. We back up everything on Judge Terrence and Angel's computer. So in the case of 4 months ago, when East Texas Copy had that issue in there.
And that issue still not resolved?
I know, I'm just trying to enlighten them as to
Right.
why we do that.
Right.
4 months ago, it was 3 months ago,
Yeah.
when you guys had another company out here that services your copiers, when they came in here to try to make it easier on the staff here to access the copy machines, in the process of them doing that, they messed up the security settings on Judge Terrence's computer. As a result, and they were trying to do the right thing for no charge to you guys, but as a result, they messed up the security features in Judge Terrence's computer. I got a call on Thursday morning that day that no one could access Judge Terrence's computer. Well, if you just had a Mozy backup and you tried to restore a Mozy backup, that would not address that issue at all.
Would address all
It's
the
a
information.
Windows issue. Security in the Windows systems got corrupt. So that's why we use an image file, which is all our security profiles, all the users that access it, and we store that on Angel's computer. So, you understand what I mean by that?
Right, I understand.
And so on Judge Terrence's computer and Angel's computer and the Chief of Police's computer, we run a program called Shadow Protect. And that's a $100 one-time expense program that we put on there a year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that. That program makes an image of it and pushes it over to Angela's computer. And on her computer, I have a second hard drive. And it's just for the images to be stored onto. So all 3 of those computers are pushed to that computer. And then on Angel's computer, I have another program on there called Second Copy. And attached to Angel's computer is an external USB hard drive. And it takes those 3 images, just in case of lightning strike, power outages, act of God, place burns down, things like that. It takes those images of all the critical computers and pushes them to an external hard drive that's in a fireproof vault. And Angela changes out that USB external hard drive twice a month. So again, it's a redundant system that way, but act of God, hard drive failures, whatever, Windows goes south, East Texas Copy comes in and changes something. I've got not only one backup, but multiple backups that I can pull from. In case the first one's corrupt, or the second one's corrupt, or like what you're seeing on these things about why we have to clean these up every month. Images do get corrupt. And so that's why we have multiple images in different locations, so that I've got more to pull from than just one particular backup.
It seems like in somebody trying to save the city money, it's basically costs us a little bit every month to have the system set the way it is. We'd actually save money by spending the $2,000 or $2,500 on one server and reducing our monthly costs, is what it sounds like to me.
That's true. And in the last 10 years that I've been working here, up until Mayor Moore came here, my job was to put a Band-Aid on whatever was wrong here and make that Band-Aid work and resolve the issue.
Did you make that
Like the call we
Band-Aid
used to
price
jump on?
clear to the people here that they could be saving this entire time?
Oh, sure.
You told them repeatedly that they could be saving all this money if they would adopt another process.
Yeah. And this all started with Rose and Mayor Warren years ago.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about it.
Well, but I mean, those are the scenarios that I faced and I had to deal with. Yeah.
Can you do us a favor? Can you put together total cost, what it would take to do what you're talking about doing, putting this external server to eliminate all the little odd end issues we're having? I want hardware, software, whatever it takes to get running, and present that to us at the next meeting. Would that drop y'all? I'd like to know what a total package, because it sounds like we're paying for a little bit each month anyhow. Why not just go ahead and take the bite and do the permanent fix? and
Well,
resolve
then are
it?
we still gonna come across some of these other, like the second check that we had on there? Now, that was a separate issue besides backup, wasn't it? Or
No, the second.
part of that was backup, but there was a higher cost to it than.
Well, these are 2 different months. So the $150 one is, like I said, it looks like a half hour on each. It's a half hour for the judge's computer and for the chief's computer and for Angela's computer.
But then the next one on
The
the
next one is in
29th
September,
was twice
right.
that amount.
So, like I was explaining about the backups, I mean, when issues come up, we get notified by an email instantly. And so then we have to resolve whatever the email saying is wrong. And so some months, there's no issues at all, and some months, you could have lightning strikes and the power go out here. We get a notification that the server's offline or Angela's computer's offline. Well, it may take us a while to rebuild the security logs and the features that got corrupted because her computer shut down in the middle of doing a backup or trying to do a restore or things along that nature. So there's not a cut and dried answer I can say, yeah, it's always going to be $150 a month because whatever happens with computers.
I understand why we have a
Yeah,
single server.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
The
I
other
guess
thing about
what-
a single server issue that's always been an issue for the court system is, I used to have the court system on Angel's computer, and because Judge Tarrant works her own schedule and needs to come in and be flexible about how she accesses her data, if Angel's computer wasn't on, then Judge Tarrant couldn't access her computer and access her court records, or the chief, or either one. So in the process of trying to accommodate and make things work for the court system, we moved everything over to Judge Tarrant's computer and access everything back to her, which, in order to split those kinds of databases up, you've got to make sure in your kind of environment, you guys have got adequate backup so that when you call me because lightning hit the power line and it took out Angel's computer, the judge's computer, I have a way to put it all back in a relatively short period of time. I mean, I can rebuild your computer systems and put you all back up in 2 or 3 days, or I can put you back up in 4 to 6 hours.
Now, would we still require the same external USB drive or whatever?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of my clients, you're the only city I service. Usually, most of my clients are all medical practices. And my medical practices that I service, I have much more redundant systems than this. This is probably the least amount of redundancy I have in any of my systems.
Because I'm not a practice dealing with the same thing day in and day out.
True, and I'm able to control everything back to a couple of hard drives on a system that I trust and do it that way. But again, the reason you do the images is because of what happened with ETMC. Worst case scenario, I would have to rebuild Judge Tarrant's computer from scratch, throw a new hard drive in there, reinstall Windows, but I wouldn't have her data files. So all the court systems would be gone.
Correct.
Can I ask a question? You said that all the data file, that you could only back up data files through another backup system other than yours? And that through your system you can back up everything. What else is there other than data files that you're backing up that are so necessary?
Windows, program files, security settings, user profiles, all the things that make a computer accessible by other computers.
Yeah, but why would you need to back that up whenever you could just take those data files and put them on a different computer, and then it would still be accessible?
You can back up data files, you can't back up the programs.
Yeah. Why do you need to back those up? I mean, are they, what programs are you backing up that are?
Everything. So again, if you didn't back up and make an image of the entire hard drive and you just backed up the data files, then you're talking 2 to 3 days to rebuild a computer. If you back up image files and you throw a new hard drive in there and restore an image, you're back up in a couple, 3 hours.
But I'm talking about, like, if your computer goes out, okay? If your computer goes out and you have to restore it, okay? And yeah, it just dies. You're saying that you're going to restore all the programs that are in a computer, like Microsoft Office?
Everything.
Okay. So with the cost that you're charging, that's more than what those programs cost if you were going to reinstall it. So why wouldn't you just go with a lower cost that just backed up data files and then you wouldn't have to, you could just buy new programs, because that would be way cheaper than this.
And the judge and Angela and everybody's out a period of time that you can't afford for them to be without their system.
Not if you had maybe a backup computer or something. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. You could have a backup computer for a lot less than $2,000. Just a backup computer, another computer that could run. So.
But these aren't backup computers. These are, hers is a server, hers is a server, the chief's is a server.
Why?
Because that's the way they want them.
So if they were just computers, then your price would be, I mean, I don't, wait, why do they want them to be servers? Why do you want them to be servers?
Don't look at me.
This is,
I'm just curious. I
It
mean,
sounds like at the time, somebody didn't want to spend the money for a single server and have a bunch of different computers with it, sounds like.
but why does there need to be a server? Like
What?
specifically?
I was just gonna, on mine, I have my program for my court, plus the Omnibase, which is my warrant program. I don't know if those can be shared on another one, or that's the reason it's on mine, is that correct?
Yeah.
It's because it's a court program and the Omnibase, which is a warrant program.
Okay. And they can't run on a computer, they have to be run on a server.
no, they're running on PCs now in a peer-to-peer network. She's just acting as a server.
But why does it need to be peer-to-peer for her court programs?
Because everybody else needs access to it.
Okay. Well, I mean, just reasonably, why wouldn't you just create a basic network to transfer those files?